Tuesday the 13th of June, and I've just entered into a short position after this 9 a.m. pin bar. So this area right here is my resistance zone. What I was looking for this morning was the market, we're sitting up here pre-market, to come down into either this level or this level, where I would then look for a potential bullish bounce. Now what happened was this morning the market came straight down toward this zone here. However, it didn't quite reach the support area of 7518 down to around about 7512. The market then saw a bullish rally. It just came up into this zone here. So as the zone broke, this was support. As it breaks and comes back to test, we have potential resistance. We have set up for the sell position. The market has pressed up into the zone. It's pressed up in a fairly choppy way. There's been no real strong bullish sentiment to keep me out of the trade. And then we got the trigger candle at 9, and it got triggered in at just 10 past 9. What I'm really looking for is for the market to make a move back down toward this zone down here. As yet, for me at least, we have not presently tested these levels. So I'm really looking for the market to come down and test the support area. Now, what am I looking at on the way down? Well, first thing is this whole section right here, really. You can see where the market has, as it's came down, it has spiked up. It has rested on these levels. It has then attempted to break above, and as it's broken above, you can see the pins on these candles coming down to test at the same area. On top of that, we have the MA200. MA200 on the 5-minute time frame, well, really on any time frame, to be honest, is worth having on your radar. You tend to see reactions, or at least the market bouncing around when it reaches the level of the MA200. So I want to be a little bit careful of the trade if/when it comes down into these levels, but I am looking for a stronger move down, really into these levels at a minimum, and potentially down toward these levels. What I will do, as always, as when the trade completes one way or the other, I'll take you on to the higher time frames and have a look at the support and resistance levels, give you an understanding of my thinking from this morning, what I was looking at for potential setups. It's just coming up for 9:15. We actually have some news coming out at 9:30, and then I believe there's also EU news at 10 as well. Now, I'm in this trade. What happens is when I'm trading, I don't really like to be in positions during key levels or key news releases, sorry. So things like rate decisions and non-farm payroll. On those two things, I will almost certainly just avoid trading. So I won't get into a trade really around about half an hour before those releases. I won't trade during the release, and then I'll usually give 15 to 20 minutes after the release before I will consider a position also. And it's just because you can see the market making random, unexpected spikes. So strong spikes up, strong spikes down. And what can happen is you can get chopped out of a position. Not only chopped out of a position, but you can suffer from that dreaded thing called slippage and end up having a larger loss than your risk tolerance. So I'm looking to risk 1% of account per trade. With slippage, it can end up being a lot more. Now, the news coming out at 9:30 and 10 is not NFP, and it is not a rate decision. So when it is high impact or expected to be high impact news, but it is not non-farm payroll or a rate decision, I'm still happy to be in a position. All I do is I just open the position to get ready to manually close. If I see a very strong spike coming up and it's going to hit the stop, I will just exit manually to make sure I don't suffer from that slippage. Okay guys, so that's everything that I'm looking at for this trade at present. As always, I will pause the video, turn it back on when the market begins to move one way or the other. I'll talk you through what I'm looking at, any decisions that I am making. Okay, we're just at round about 10 points here. I'm going to close out partial profits. Oops. Sorry, okay, my email popped up there, so I'll just skip forward slightly in the video to take that out of the video. So I've closed partial profits at around about 10 points, 10.5 points. We are just coming up to 9:30. If we reach this whole area down here, I will take the remainder of the profit on this trade. Let me just get rid of this rectangle. So I'm just waiting now to see if the market comes down into this 520 level. Okay, so the second target has been hit on this trade, and I have closed out the full position. Now we're just coming up to 9:30. So relatively quick trade, relatively simple trade in all honesty. We've only had bearish candles. There's been no real bullish pushback against this trade. And so it's worked out very nicely. Okay, what I'm going to do now is load up the 4-hour time frame, and I'll take you through what it was that I was looking at from this morning. Okay, so we're on the 4-hour time frame, and these are the two zones that I was looking at this morning. Now, the market was sitting up above this area pre-market. What happened was it came down straight away, fell all the way down, and it didn't quite reach this level of support. We then pressed back up into this level, where I began looking for potential short positions. Now, we had already failed at this level once. Pre-market, the market came down. You can see the market has tested these levels multiple times on this 4-hour time frame. You can also see the spike up to this market, breaks above, fails, comes back down. So multiple tests of this level. That made it a good potential resistance zone. Now we hadn't tested this level of support. So that gave me the confidence that the likely move would be a bearish movement back down to test this area of support. Now you can see this level, if we stretch it back, has been used multiple times in the past also. The market has respected this level as resistance, and as it has broken above, it has tested it as support multiple times. What you can also see is over the last couple of days, this whole section right here, the market has been testing almost the exact same level at the 7518 over and over and over again. You can see the candle closes, the candle opens, the pins of lots of the candles coming up almost perfectly into this level. So that made it a good area of support. If we broke above this whole level, then it made sense that what we would potentially see would be a break above what has been resistance that has been holding for a long time, then the pullback to test structure, support, before we've seen a potential bullish bounce. What you can actually see is the market has now came down and tested that level, and it is now buying upwards. So it looks like a good area to have exited that trade. I'm just going to load the 5-minute time frame. We'll have a quick look at that before we end the video. Okay, so it looks a bit messy now on this screen. It's just purely because I've been drawing on the 4-hour time frame. So what you can see, the market has came down into this level, and we have now had a relatively strong bullish reaction from 7518. If I had still been in this trade rather than taking profits, partial profits here, full profits here, I would have exited this trade by now. Okay guys, so as always, I hope that was helpful. Hope you've all had a good trading week. I'm James Orr, and thank you.